Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Do you find it hard to socialize in a foreign country? Fear not, because today we will explore how to break the ice in English. Breaking the ice, or starting a conversation with someone new, can seem daunting, but it's a vital part of making a good first impression. First impressions matter because they set the tone for the rest of the interaction. They're like the cover of a book or the trailer of a movie. They give a glimpse of what's to come. So, how do you make a good first impression in English? Well, it starts with a warm greeting. In English-speaking countries, we often say, "Nice to meet you." It's a simple phrase, but it sends a positive message. It says, "I'm glad to have the opportunity to get to know you." Another useful phrase is, "How's your day going?" This question shows that you're interested in the other person's well-being. It's a great conversation starter because it opens the door for the other person to share something about their day. Then there's the question, "What brings you here?" This is a friendly way to ask why the person is at the event or location. It can lead to a wide range of topics, from work to hobbies, giving you plenty to talk about. Now, let's discuss social norms. In English-speaking countries, it's common to introduce yourself after the initial greeting. You might say, "I'm Jane, by the way." Then the other person is likely to respond with their name. It's also customary to shake hands or give a slight nod when meeting someone for the first time. Remember, when you're breaking the ice, it's important to be attentive and responsive. Show that you're interested in what the other person has to say. Nod, smile, and use phrases like "That's interesting" or "I didn't know that." These responses encourage the other person to keep talking and help build a connection. Remember, breaking the ice is all about showing genuine interest in the other person, so don't be afraid to ask questions and listen actively. Now that you've broken the ice, how do you keep the conversation flowing? This is a question that many English learners grapple with, especially when socializing in a foreign country. The key lies in asking open-ended questions. An open-ended question is one that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. It invites the other person to share their thoughts, experiences, or feelings, encouraging a more in-depth conversation. Examples include, "What's your opinion on the latest technological advancements?" Or, "Can you tell me more about your hometown?" These questions open up avenues for further discussion and keep the conversation engaging. Responding to open-ended questions can sometimes feel daunting, especially if you're an introvert. But remember, there's no right or wrong answer. Share your thoughts, experiences, or ideas freely. If asked, "What's your opinion on climate change?" you might respond, "I believe it's a critical issue that needs immediate attention." Recently, I read an article about by providing a detailed response, you're inviting the other person to delve deeper into the topic. But what about those inevitable awkward silences or misunderstandings? We've all experienced them. The key is not to panic. If you find yourself in an awkward silence, simply revert to another open-ended question. For example, "Have you seen any good movies lately?" Or if there's a misunderstanding, politely ask for clarification. You might say, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please explain it again?" Remember, English is a language of nuances and expressions, and it's perfectly okay to ask for clarification if something isn't clear. It shows your willingness to understand and engage in the conversation. Keeping a conversation flowing in English might seem like a daunting task, especially for introverts. But with practice in these strategies, it can become a lot more manageable. Keeping a conversation flowing in English is as much about listening as it is about speaking. So, be sure to pay attention to the other person's responses and show interest in what they have to say. After all, a good conversation is a two-way street. Making connections isn't just about one-on-one conversations. Group activities can be a great way to meet new people and practice your English. In most English-speaking countries, group activities are a common and enjoyable way to socialize. They can range from sports games and book clubs to social events like parties or casual gatherings at a local cafe. Participating in these activities allows you to interact with a diverse group of people and learn from their experiences, all while practicing your English in a more relaxed and informal setting. When it comes to sports games, you don't necessarily need to be an athlete to join in. Attending a game as a spectator can be just as fun and engaging. You can ask questions about the rules, cheer for your favorite team, or simply comment on the game. Phrases like, "Who's winning?" or "That was a great play," can help you join in the conversation. Book clubs are another popular group activity. Whether you're an avid reader or just starting to explore the world of literature, book clubs provide a platform for sharing opinions and discussing different perspectives. When discussing a book, you might say things like, "I found this character really intriguing," or "The plot twist was unexpected, don't you think?" Social events such as parties or gatherings are also common places for group interactions. Here, conversations can revolve around a wide array of topics. You could ask others about their interests, share your own experiences, or even discuss current events. Phrases like, "What do you enjoy doing in your free time?" or "Have you heard about the recent news on?" can help steer the conversation. It's important to remember that every group activity comes with its own set of social norms and expectations. Generally, it's expected that everyone contributes to the conversation but also respects the opinions of others. It's okay to disagree, but always do so respectfully. Group activities can be a great way to make friends and improve your English. Just remember to be respectful of others and contribute to the conversation when you feel comfortable. All good things must come to an end, and that includes conversations. But how do you exit a conversation politely in English? Well, it's all about balance. You want to be respectful of the other person's time, but you also don't want to come across as rude or dismissive. So let's dive into some useful English phrases that can help you end conversations smoothly. One simple yet effective phrase is, "It was nice talking to you." This sentence not only signals that you're ready to end the conversation, but it also leaves a positive impression. It's a gentle way of saying you appreciated the interaction, even as you're wrapping it up. Another handy phrase is, "I should be going." This is a polite and indirect way of saying you need to leave. It's a little more formal, which makes it ideal for professional settings or situations where you want to maintain a certain level of decorum. For a more casual or friendly context, you can use phrases like "catch you later" or "let's catch up soon." These phrases indicate that you're interested in future interactions, making the other person feel valued. Now, let's talk about social norms in English-speaking countries regarding ending conversations. Generally, abrupt departures are considered rude. It's important to signal your intention to leave the conversation gradually and politely. Look for natural breaks in the conversation, like a lull in the discussion or a change of topic, as opportunities to make your exit. Reading social cues is also an essential skill. If the other person is frequently checking their watch, or their replies are becoming short and less engaged, these may be signs that the conversation is winding down. In such cases, using one of the phrases we've discussed can help you exit the conversation gracefully. Remember, the key to polite conversation exits is to be considerate and respectful of the other person's time and feelings. You want to leave a positive impression that paves the way for future interactions. Exiting a conversation politely is a crucial part of social etiquette in English-speaking countries. So practice these phrases and use them when it's time to say goodbye.
Let's learn new words and practice English at level B1. Introvert. Introvert, a person who feels more comfortable focusing on their inner thoughts and ideas, rather than what's happening externally. They enjoy spending time alone or with a few close friends. Example, as an introvert, I find large social gatherings quite draining and prefer quiet settings. Small talk. Small talk, light, casual conversation about common or less important topics, usually done to pass the time or learn basic information about someone. Example, engaging in small talk can be challenging for introverts, but it's a useful skill when meeting new people abroad. Socialize. Socialize, to participate in social activities, interact with others in a friendly way. Example, even though I'm an introvert, I try to socialize with my classmates to improve my language skills and make new friends. Networking. Networking, the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. Example, networking can seem overwhelming, but it can also lead to opportunities and friendships while living abroad. Meetup. Meetup, a planned informal meeting or gathering, typically arranged through a website or app, where people with similar interests come together. Example, joining a meetup group related to my hobbies was a great way for me to meet like-minded people in a new city. Boundary. Boundary, a limit of a subject or sphere of activity. Personal boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. Example, it's important to set boundaries so that I don't feel overwhelmed by social demands. Connect. Connect, to join together to establish communication between, make contact. Example, I aim to connect with one new person in my language class each week, which feels more manageable. Comfort zone. Comfort zone, a situation where one feels safe or at ease without stress. Example, moving abroad pushed me out of my comfort zone, especially as an introvert needing to make new social connections.